Let me pick up where I left off a glitch a day ago. Let me put down, sort of turn on a timestamp. Incidentally, if you really have to keep, if you like bill by time, I've always used a simple mechanism where I just put an asterisk after a timestamp and followed after whatever you've done by turning it off by an asterisk and followed by a timestamp. And well, I've written a couple of lines or two to go and extract those, going all the way back to the original CoSy in the 80s, which you can get a hint of on other videos. I've used that mechanism, so I'm going to not bother accounting for this time. But to get back here, we left off with how to add something to the dictionary, to the fourth dictionary. Let me go quickly through. We did F7, which goes and makes or F6, I'm sorry, to go and execute that line, which returns that 12-character string. If I want to make that into a word, I was saying that colon starts the definition of a word following it, and then the rest of the line up to the semicolon is the definition. And that does not return anything, so if I execute that, it returns a nil. And I'm not that super happy with the way that's implemented, but that's the notation, which I think I just inherited from Arthur Whitney's K. In any case, that's created the word hello world now, and if I execute that, something happened. So the word colon adds new words to the dictionary. Let me F6 this, gone through this a couple of times. Okay, that defined a word, hello word, and when it's a fourth word, I use this little tick to indicate a vertical tick, as opposed to the tick that's up over in the upper left of most keyboards, which denotes a symbol. But in any case, now I've created the word hello world, and if I F6 that, bang, that returns. That's the same as if I wrote the string in. Now to go and show, this is an APL demo that actually dates back to before the PC. Let me go through it, and you'll see just how powerful this sort of APL vocabulary is. Now, one of the things that you should remember, and something that actually can be pointed out by the fact that you have this, we haven't looked at this yet, but this is actually the fourth stack, and to go and show any of the definitions of these words all the way down to the x86 we'll get to. But in any case, we have this word hello world now, so I can put that into a sentence here, and I'm making a vector of integers from the I paren to the paren close I, and then the word take. Okay, this is 7 by 23, you'll see, and it's storing that in a value t0. So let me execute that. That's what you see. You actually have a list, a 7-item list of 23-item strings, and t0, you see, I stored it in. If I go and dupe it and reverse it and glue it back onto itself, That's on each one of those lines. Here is the tick reverse. That's the name. That's the address of tick of reverse actually. And tick M is monadic. A single. It applies this function to the result of this. Well, I've duped T0. I made another copy on the stack. We'll get into the fourth stuff later, but in any case, it made another copy. It flipped it over, and he flipped over each of the 7 lines, and then CL concatenates them together, concatenates the 2 lists. And that actually also is applied to each of those, each line, and each of the 7 items. Here, as a matter of fact, this is one of the very powerful factors about this concatenative 4th language. If I go and I want to, I'm going to take out the dupe here. Because I just want to show you the result of the first half. Whoop. Yeah, here where it flipped it over, it's flipped each line over, it stuck them together, and then if I take R0 here, by important thing, whatever the last result, the result of the last execution is stored in the result in R0. And what this is doing is it's duplicating this, and it's reversing that again, and then it's concatenating them again. But notice this is not each, this is the whole shtick here, and concatenating them. So this is the final image that's produced just by that little bit of code. And the amount of code required here is virtually identical to any APL. It might have symbols instead of words, but actually, interestingly, back in about 1982 or 3, maybe it was 4, when I and a guy named Paul Ellerby were looking at, well, we were doing some consulting, putting in a YCAT 68,000 based computer from to put Rochester Gas and Electric's corporate model, to bring it down from the mainframe, because the 68,000 was really the first chip that had an APL done by a guy named Phil Van Cleve. Sorry, you're going to get this history. But we went down to New York, which appalled me, from Rochester. The size of New York just appalled me at the time. But in any case, it happens when we were in looking at these YCAT mini computers. Vidal Sassoon happened to be in there and looking at the computers also, and I showed him this demo, and he was impressed. Well, I'm going to leave next time. We're going to go on and jump down to today's notes and start giving more of an overview, and also mention this third window that's down here, because this is really, this text window is generally used for keeping track of what you do. Whoops, I hit F12 instead when I meant to hit F11, so I've got to go and, again, it's trivial stuff. But one of the things is everything that you write down. unless you screw up royally, is saved. And since it's such simple text, you can search it all for anything that you can remember about it. And so these trivialities, combined with the fact that you have a language that sometimes bombs. We're going to delete this embarrassing bomb here. I'm not sure exactly what caused it. There are some issues with the IUP interface, which is, from the perspective of CoSy, just an API. And as soon as some more heads are in that know more about interfaces, and also, for that matter, just simple C callbacks, which I'm amazingly ignorant of almost everything except the path that has gotten this done. But in any case, you'll see that actually when you start up, this is the MS-DOS process that is running the forth and so forth. Before this error came out, it said, in case of crash, execute restart at the command prompt and restore. But let me go and restart. Whoops. And this is the point. You're back up where you were before. Totally. Okay. Gonna call it a session. See you soon.